You ever have one of those moments where you stop, look around, and think, is this real life, or did I step into a bad sitcom? That was me, standing on my own damn porch, staring at a woman in designer heels telling me that my family's forest, the same one that's been in our name since before light bulbs, was now under the jurisdiction of the neighborhood HOA. And she said it with this smug little smile, like she was doing me a favor. Like I should thank her. I'm Jonah Mitchell, 43, semi-retired, emotionally attached to my flannel jackets and my pine trees. I live out near Pinebrook Lake, in a house built by my great-grandfather with wood he chopped himself. I'm not what you'd call a community guy. I keep to myself, talk to the owls, fish when the trout are biting. The forest behind my property isn't just some patch of green on a map, it's part of me. I've hiked every trail, buried pets under the old cedar, spread ashes under the big oak bend where the sun hits just right in the fall. So when Meredith Klein, the newly elected HOA president with her clipboard and Gucci frames, told me the forest was now subject to their lake beautification plan, I blinked and said, no, it isn't. Simple as that. But folks like Meredith, they don't hear no, they hear temporary obstacle. The next week, I started getting maleficial-looking envelopes, the kind that make your stomach drop before you even open them. Citations. Warnings. Fines. Unpermitted native plant growth. Unsafe trail conditions. Noise pollution caused by nocturnal wildlife. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Evict the owls? At first, I laughed. Thought it was just some power-tripping HOA antics. But then the letters kept coming. And the fines added up. I knew I was being set up, so I called Caleb, an old buddy from college who owed me some legal help after I helped him move twice during grad school. Caleb reviewed everything and said, she's building a case, man. Paper trail. Death by bureaucracy. And he was right. She was trying to squeeze me until I either sold the land or gave up control. Then came the part that still makes my blood boil. One morning I'm walking the South Trail, coffee in hand, birds chirping, when I hear this scream. I round the bend and see Meredith lying in a muddy patch, clutching her ankle like she's mid-Shakespearean death scene. She claims she tripped on an unmarked route. Now, I might have believed her if I hadn't installed trail cams 2 weeks earlier. 3 cameras. 3 angles. All showing her pouring water on the trail, staging the slip, then carefully lying down like she was posing for a headshot. I mean, the performance was worthy of an Emmy if not a lawsuit. I handed the footage to the responding officer, who watched it twice and just muttered, unbelievable. Meredith tried to spin it, said she was disoriented, that it was an accidental dramatization. The officer didn't buy it. So she upped the stakes. She filed a civil suit, claiming the fall caused permanent injury and that the forest was a public hazard needing immediate regulation. She wanted $100,000 in damages and for the HOA to assume full control of the land for community safety. I wasn't even angry anymore. I was insulted. That's when I remembered something my granddad used to say about an old charter he kept hidden, a document that proved the land was protected, outside any zoning laws. I tore through his old gear chest and there it was, wrapped in oilskin and smelling like cedar and thyme. An 1852 state-issued conservation charter. Signed. Notarized. Legally binding. Declaring Mitchell Forest an ecological legacy site immune from municipal zoning, development, or, yes, HOA jurisdiction. When I showed it to Caleb, his eyes lit up. Jonah, he said, this isn't just a defense, it's a nuke. We went to court. Meredith strutted in like she was ready for a press conference, her lawyer barely making eye contact with anyone. But the Judge Hackett, a no-nonsense Vietnam vet who didn't care for theatrics, took one look at the document and asked, were you aware this land was protected under a historical charter, Ms. Klein? She actually laughed and said, Your Honor, that's from the 1800s. You can't be serious. Bad move. Judge Hackett slammed his gavel like it owed him money and said, I'm very serious. Case dismissed. And from this moment forward, the HOA is barred from imposing any regulation on Mr. Mitchell's property for the next 100 years. But wait, it gets better. He also referred Meredith to the DA's office for insurance fraud and perjury. Caleb had already sent them the trail cam footage. And within weeks, she was under for more investigation. Turns out, this wasn't her first rodeo. She'd done the same thing in 2 other communities. Faked injuries. Filed suits. Pushed landowners out. Flipped the land. Profit. Rinse. Repeat. But not this time. Meredith tried to flee the state, but her accounts got frozen. Her house went up for sale. HOA board. Vacant. The local Facebook group. Lit up like Christmas. Some folks felt sorry for her. Others said she got exactly what she deserved. Me. I carved a new wooden sign for the forest trail entrance. It says, some roots run deeper than greed. Now, the woods are quiet again. The owls are still hooting, the fish are still biting, and the hikers. Oh, they still ask, hey, is this the place where the HOA lady faked her injury? I just nod, sip my coffee, and keep walking. Funny thing is, I learned more about my neighbors in that whole mess than I had in the 10 years before. Some of them stepped up, others disappeared when things got messy. One guy, Rick, who never even said hi before, brought me a 6-pack and said, glad someone finally stood up to her. Denise from 2 doors down started hosting potlucks again. It's like once the fear was gone, folks started remembering they were neighbors, not just residents. See, people think they can rewrite the past with clipboards and citations. But this land, it remembers. It remembers who loved it and who tried to fence it in. It outlasted storms, drought, fire, and now, an HOA president who thought she could own what she didn't understand. So let me ask you, what would you have done? If someone came for your home, your family's legacy, would you fight? Would you dig deep, or would you just roll over and let them take it? Because sometimes, justice doesn't show up with a badge, it shows up with an old document, a trail cam, and the stubborn resolve of a man who knows where he comes from. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me where you draw the line. Tell me if you've ever gone up against people who thought they were untouchable. Because this wasn't just about trees. It was about roots. And mine. They run deep. You ever have one of those moments where you stop, look around, and think, is this real life, or did I step into a bad sitcom? That was me, standing on my own damn porch, staring at a woman in designer heels telling me that my family's forest, the same one that's been in our name since before light bulbs, was now under the jurisdiction of the neighborhood HOA. And she said it with this smug little smile, like she was doing me a favor. Like I should thank her. I'm Jonah Mitchell, 43, semi-retired, emotionally attached to my flannel jackets and my pine trees.